There's a well-known Christian carol called Joy to the World. And we sing that a lot at Christmas time. And that reminds us that Christmas time is a time of joy. But within the Bible, joy doesn't simply mean happiness. It also includes suffering and brokenness and lostness. And so one way in which we can help people who are dying to begin to move towards Christmas positively is to give them the opportunity to speak about the sadness as well as to speak about the joy. So there's a kind of strange tension in Christmas that yes, we should be joyful and happy. Yes, we should also recognize that death is a parting and it's painful and it's filled with grief. But at the same time, the very existence of Jesus means that there are new possibilities, that death is not the end of it. Yes, we have to grieve, but we can grieve in hope. And I remember a good friend of mine was wrestling with breast cancer. And she was really dying in the last stages of her breast cancer. And people were constantly praying for her to be healed, and she wasn't going to be healed in that sense. And the frustration as we went into Christmas, and I remember her last Christmas, is that she was unable to really embrace Christmas because those around her were so busy trying to fix her that they were no longer actually with her. So when we're thinking about Christmas, we're thinking not only about how we can make one another happy, but how we can actually be honest with one another, how we can embrace that kind of suffering and enable people to die well and to run into Christmas with hope and new possibilities. Because Christmas time is such a powerful reminder, and because culturally there's a real emphasis on being happy, there can be a significant problem for people who are living with depression. Because if everybody else is around you is happy and you're expected to be happy, then that's a pretty miserable place to be. So finding ways to acknowledge sadness, even in the midst of happiness, is something that's important. And so some churches, for example, have what they call blue services at Christmas time, where people who are going through grief or going through illness gather together just to articulate that, to speak about it, in the same way as the Psalms of Lament talk about the sadness and the brokenness of human beings. And at the end of the service, people feel that they have just spoken to God about the lostness that they have, but at the same time, accept something of the happiness.